Right now, we have a huge update. Johnny Somali has changed his plea. So he has now pled guilty on all 4 obstruction charges.
How was Johnny's lawyer?
Flustered, definitely out of his depth.
He changed his not guilty to guilty. He's pled guilty to everything. Guilty to the Minor Crimes Act.
Guys, we just got breaking news. Johnny Somali finally pled guilty and is now going to face 5 years in prison with a fine of $50,100,001, about $37,000 US, and up to 30 days of detention. There are lots of updates to give. The judge just denied the request of Johnny Somali and his lawyer, and the obstruction of business charges details have been fully disclosed. The witnesses also testified in court, and we also have an update that Hank Yu lied and was shown in court.
Still a quote-unquote student, and that he still actually lives at Hank's house. So that's interesting because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me. I do not help Johnny anymore. I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently, that's not true.
We have lots more to cover. More information has just come in that you don't know yet. So let's watch everything in this video. Let's get started. So guys, first, the latest update on Johnny Somali's appearance. Johnny Somali was shown in court with his new look alongside Hank Yu. This is despite Hank Yu previously lying that he didn't know anything about Johnny Somali. I told you all before that this was actually their strategy. Johnny Somali's lawyer ended up getting completely destroyed by both the prosecution and the judge. Here you can hear it directly from Legal Mindset.
Johnny is wearing a black blazer with a white button-up, no tie. The judge is back from recess. Johnny also has changed his hair. He now has a buzz cut. So now Johnny has a buzz cut instead of his normal cut.
Which cut Johnny has in his hair always looks like trash. I told you that this time it wouldn't look good either. And yes, it still looks like trash. Until now, Johnny Somali's face hasn't been revealed, but it will surely be revealed. And as I said, he's going to look just disgusting. The lawyer they hired was also very weak, and you can hear that the lawyer was just giving completely illogical reasons for the delay.
They just asked for the lawyer's evidence in the cases for which he pleads not guilty. The judge wants to know what he denies specifically about the deepfake allegations. So remember, last time the judge asked Johnny's lawyer, Ramsey's lawyer, what proof do you have you're not guilty? And the lawyer literally said, we have nothing. We have no proof that he's not guilty. The lawyer is completely now, and now today, after the judge asked him, what specific proof do you have? The lawyer is completely flustered. Ramsey's lawyer is flustered in court. He says he already submitted the evidence to the court, and he's unable to articulate it now.
Can you just imagine what type of lawyer Johnny Somali hired? Someone who was actually not ready to defend him? Even when asked to provide proof for the defense and counter the evidence, he just denied it and said he couldn't. Can you just imagine that? Everyone knows that Johnny Somali has no evidence to prove he is not guilty, yet he still tried to act innocent. But what could even the lawyer do when no defense could work for Johnny Somali anymore? Even the creator Atozy was present in the courtroom, and later we found out that Hank Yu's family actually pressured the lawyer to defend him. You can hear this directly from Atozy. Johnny Somali's lawyer even requested the court for more time in the proceedings, which normally lasts 15 minutes by default. They wanted to try to talk with Bong Bong, maybe meet with her, but Bong Bong actually was not in the court.
The lawyer requested more time than usual.
Okay.
To examine them.
So
why?
What's a normal time to examine someone, you think?
Said it, and for this they set 15 minutes for the defense for the lawyer to interview they set 15 minutes, and since he couldn't block it, he wanted more time with the witnesses, which means if they can't block the witnesses, they really want to grill them. So he might be planning on going all in on Bong Bong.
Can you just imagine how shameless Johnny Somali and his lawyer are? They actually knew they had nothing to defend, which is why they literally tried to go after the witnesses. We even got some Discord leaks from Johnny Somali's official server where he was just talking trash about Bong Bong. It clearly shows that Johnny Somali actually tried to block the witnesses, but it's no longer profitable for him. It's not working in his favor anymore.
How was Johnny's lawyer?
Flustered, definitely out of his depth. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I know he was pressured by Hank's family to be a part of this case, and I think he's trying to do his best to balance between Johnny and...
But after all the proceedings, Johnny Somali's lawyer was too weak and the prosecution was very strong. Despite all that, Johnny Somali still refused to plead guilty to the crimes. When the judge and the prosecution pressured him, he literally gave illogical reasons for not pleading guilty.
Okay, right. So would you consider them to be pretty aggressive on this case, or How would you rate it?
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it. And the paradox is, how can you simultaneously admit to having distributed, which is the crime that it's accused of, and insist on this not guilty plea? That's insane. That's just, it's thinking. The more I think about it, the crazier it is. But that's what we just witnessed.
Wow.
Is this lawyer using Johnny's argument? Saying basically, I didn't make it, so I'm. Even though, again, I think.
And also, like, the whole charge is for the distribution. So they're like, oh, we didn't make it. I did distribute it, though. But I was drunk.
But finally, Johnny Somali was not able to maintain his argument and pled guilty to the obstruction of business charges, which he had previously refused. Right now, Johnny Somali is facing 6 criminal charges, and he is pleading guilty to most of them. However, he still refuses to plead guilty to the deep fake crimes, though he admitted to distribution, which is still a crime. He can face a guaranteed 5 years in prison with a fine, but if the deep fake charges are also officially sentenced, he could face up to 12 years in prison. Here, you can hear from Legal Mindset the final hearing from August 13th.
Right now, we have a huge update. Johnny Somali has changed his plea on the obstruction charge for Lotte World. He previously had pled not guilty. He is now changing his plea from not guilty to guilty. So he has now pled guilty on all 4 obstruction charges. So he has now changed his not guilty plea. This is now a guilty. Since he changed his plea to guilty, the witness was dismissed. So the witness for today that was supposed to testify was dismissed. It was not Bong Bong. It forced him to plead guilty. Plot twist. He also changed his pleas to all guilty. So this is now the current chart for his crimes. He has now pled guilty to all 4 obstruction charges. He changed his not guilty to guilty. He's pled guilty to everything. Guilty to the Minor Crimes Act. The only thing he's fighting is a deep fake. The only thing he's fighting is deep fakes.
So, as you heard from Legal Mindset, Johnny Somali only did not plead guilty to the deep fake charges. He is claiming that he didn't commit the deep fake crime and even didn't know how to create deep fakes, but the evidence says otherwise. Here's another update. Evidence for the obstruction of business charges just got leaked, which adds to the crimes Johnny Somali is facing. He is now facing 8 criminal charges. You can see a small portion of the evidence here.
It's my ringtone. It's my ringtone. I don't know English. I don't speak English. France. You speak French? I don't know what's going on. Bro, we gotta go.
어나너머스 센트3 달러즈 이 버스에 내 소말리아 성기를 원하는 귀여운 한국 여성이 있나요? 저는 HIV 양성이지만 콘돔을 착용해도 괜찮습니다. 한국 남자들은 성기가 작습니다. 나는 거대한 성기를 가지고 있습니다. 한국 남자들은 성기가 작습니다. 나는 거대한 성기를 가지고 있다. 한국 남자들은 작은 성기를 가지고 있다. 나는 거대한 성기를 가지고 있다. 한국 남자들은
So actually, Johnny Somali was on a bus and was desperately disturbing everyone even after the public gave him multiple warnings. He did not stop, and for that he is now facing 4 obstruction of business charges, and officially he has pled guilty to all of them. To sum up, Johnny Somali's current predictable jail time is a guaranteed 5 years. If all the deepfake charges are proven, even though Johnny Somali did not plead guilty, he will surely face jail time, which could bring his total sentence up to 12 years in prison. Since he didn't plead guilty to the deepfake charges, the court will take more time to prove them, and the next trial is scheduled for October. A very big update is that the sentencing could happen nearby that time. So guys, now that Johnny Somali has pled guilty to these charges, do you think he can defend himself against the deepfake charges, or do you think he will surely face 12 years in prison? What do you think? Let me know.